It was a dark and stormy night. The wind was howling outside and the rain was beating down relentlessly. Inside the cozy little cottage, the fire was blazing merrily in the fireplace, casting a warm glow over the room. Samantha sat curled up on the couch, a book in her lap. She was lost in the story, her mind transported to another time and place. But as she turned the page, a loud knock at the door made her jump. She hesitated for a moment, wondering who could be out in such weather. But her curiosity got the better of her, and she made her way to the door. When she opened it, she was greeted by a tall, dark stranger, his face hidden beneath the hood of his cloak. "Please," he said in a low, urgent voice. "I need your help." Samantha hesitated for a moment, but something about the man's demeanor made her believe he was in real trouble. "Come in," she said, stepping aside to let him in out of the rain. He shook the water from his cloak and pulled back the hood, revealing a face that was both handsome and troubled. "My name is Michael," he said. "I'm sorry to bother you like this, but I'm in a bit of a bind." Samantha didn't know what to make of this stranger, but she felt drawn to him all the same. There was something about his eyes that made her believe he was telling the truth. "What can I do to help?" she asked. "It's a long story," he said, sinking down onto the couch beside her. "But I'll try to make it brief." And with that, Michael began to tell her his tale. He was a prince, he said, the son of a powerful king. But he had been betrayed by his own brother, who had conspired to take the throne for himself. Michael had been forced to flee for his life, and he had been on the run ever since. "I need your help," he said. "I need a place to hide until I can figure out what to do next." Samantha didn't know what to make of all this. It sounded like something out of a fairy tale. But as she looked into Michael's eyes, she knew that he was telling the truth. And so she made up her mind to help him. She showed him to a small room at the back of the house, where he could rest and recover from his ordeal. Over the next few days, Samantha took care of Michael, nursing him back to health. They talked for hours, and she found herself growing more and more drawn to him. As the storm outside raged on, Samantha and Michael grew closer and closer. They talked about their hopes and dreams, their fears and uncertainties. And before she knew it, Samantha had fallen in love with Michael. But she knew that their time together was limited. Michael would have to leave soon, to continue his quest to reclaim his throne. And so, on the night before he was set to leave, Samantha sat down to write him a letter. "My dearest Michael," she wrote, "I don't know what the future holds for us, but I know that I will never forget you. You have brought light into my life, and I will cherish the memories we have shared forever." And with that, she sealed the letter and placed it on the table beside Michael's bed. The next morning, Samantha woke up to find that Michael was gone. He had left in the middle of the night, leaving behind only a single rose on her pillow. Samantha was heartbroken. She didn't know if she would ever see Michael again, but she knew that he would always hold a special place in her heart. Days turned into weeks, and Samantha tried to carry on with her life. But she couldn't help feeling a sense of emptiness without Michael by her side. One day, she received a message from an old friend. It was a newspaper clipping, reporting that Michael's brother had been overthrown and that Michael had reclaimed his rightful place as king. Samantha's heart swelled with pride and happiness for Michael. She knew that he had accomplished what he had set out to do, and that he was finally able to rule the kingdom justly. But as she continued to read the article, her heart sank. Michael had been married, the article said, to a noblewoman from a neighboring kingdom. Samantha felt as though her world had come crashing down around her. She had never considered the possibility that Michael could be with someone else, let alone married. Days turned into weeks, and Samantha tried to carry on with her life, but she couldn't shake the feeling of sadness that had settled over her. One day, she received a visitor. It was Michael, standing on her doorstep with a small smile on his face. "Samantha," he said, "I've come to see you." Samantha's heart raced as she invited him inside. She didn't know what to make of this sudden visit, but she couldn't help feeling a sense of hope. As they sat down to talk, Michael explained everything. Yes, he had been married, but it had been an arranged marriage, one that he had never wanted in the first place. His heart had always belonged to Samantha, he said. "I know I made a mistake," he said, his eyes pleading with hers. "But I want to make it right. I want to be with you, Samantha. If you'll have me." Samantha was overwhelmed. She had never expected Michael to come back to her, let alone ask for her hand in marriage. But as she looked into his eyes, she knew that she couldn't deny her feelings any longer. She loved Michael with all her heart, and she knew that she always would. And so, they were married. It was a small ceremony, with only a handful of friends and family in attendance. But to Samantha, it was the most beautiful wedding she could have imagined.